saying? I'm trying to talk about teaching English here and I can't even use English. Great. Good job. Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of the EPIK series. Don't know what to call this yet. I'm going to be going over the application process, the interview, and the post documents you will need if you want to apply for EPIK. So first off, let's talk about the initial application. Everything is online. So the application, the official application form is online. You have to go on the EPIK website and click the apply now, and then it'll be whatever term you're applying for. Yeah, you just click on that. You have to make an account and then you can start filling out the application. It's really crucial that you get this initial application done, especially if you want a specific placement. You're not guaranteed a placement, but if you want your chances to be higher, getting it done as fast as possible is the way to go. The first part of it is really simple. It's just like basic information, your name, where you're from, address, phone number, that kind of stuff. Then it'll go into time spent abroad. So if you've ever lived or studied abroad, you're gonna put that information in. Then it'll go into educational background. So be ready to supply all of your educational information on this chart. You have to start from primary or elementary school until university. And along with that, you have to say like the years and the months, when you began, when you finished, in what city, and etc. So make sure you have that information. I had to like sit down and think about that for a while because I moved a lot. If you haven't moved a lot in your life and you went to like the same elementary and then the same middle school and then the same high school and then the same university, you're good. So yeah, you just have to do that. And then if you have any teaching certification, like I said in the previous video, you need at least a TEFL, TESOL, or CELTA, or a teaching license, unless you are your major is education. You have to put that information in there as well. I believe you actually don't need to have the certificate when you initially apply, but you need to at least have applied for a program. You don't have to have completed the program yet. You just have to say you've applied for it and this is when I should be finished with it. And I think that'll be okay. But it's just best to, get that done and over with so that way you don't have to deal with it later on. And then you have to talk about your employment and then any teaching experience you have. And then it'll go more into personal information about your medical health. So you have to check things about your medical health, and then you also have to say if you have any tattoos, because tattoos is still kind of a taboo subject, especially in the workforce in South Korea. So you have to take pictures of your tattoos and show that to EPIK. That's pretty simple, straightforward, easy to do. Also, on your initial application, you need to have a professional photo. Professional, don't stress too much. It doesn't have to be like taken by a professional or anything. It's just basically a passport style photo. Add a PDF of that into your initial application. Also, you have to write 3 essays and you have to create a lesson plan. And this is a part where everybody tends to freak out. So the 3 essays, they only have to be 400 words each. So that's like a page. So you're really only writing 3 pages. So just take your time writing it. Make sure it's grammatically correct. You are applying for a teaching job, so that'd be good. Now, the prompts may change. I don't know. I think these have been the prompts for the past few years now, so I think they'll be the ones for 2020 fall. So the first prompt is answer both why you want to teach EFL, English as a foreign language, and why you want to teach in Korea specifically. So this is a really great question that you just really have to ask yourself. Even without doing this essay, you should have asked yourself why you want to teach EFL and why you want to teach in Korea. That's a good thing to know and to understand about yourself. The second essay topic is explain your teaching philosophy. This might be a bit difficult for a lot of people, especially if you have never taken a teaching course in university, or you don't have any experience in teaching or like in education, anything like that. I took a teaching methods course my last year of university, and we actually had to write a teaching philosophy. It's basically one to two pages of your own ideas of what it is to be a successful teacher. You can Google examples online. There's a ton of examples online. Don't just copy and paste, because you're not going to learn anything from that. But, you know, take your time, really like make a list of what you think it means to be a good teacher. Another thing that's going to help you with this is if you have taken a TEFL course, because a lot of the information in that will help you organize ideas and methods of teaching, and in which you can put that in your teaching philosophy. This is what I do in my class because it does this and it helps with this, you know, that kind of thing. The last essay is you have to share your thoughts on encountering cultural differences. The final thing about the initial application is the lesson plan. And this is the one that I think most people freak out about, because a lot of people who are applying have never actually created a lesson plan. So this is probably the most important part of the application, in my opinion, or the part that you need to spend the most time and effort in. The other parts, you're just filling stuff in, facts, and then you're just talking about yourself. This one, you actually have to apply your knowledge of teaching, and then use that to create an effective lesson plan that could be used in Korea. Again, you can go online. There are a ton of examples of ESL lesson plans that you can look through. Do not copy and paste though, because EPIK is looking for your original creative ideas, and copying somebody else's work just isn't going to help you, because you might have to create lesson plans when you're in Korea. So that is it for the initial application. And then along with the initial application, you actually have to submit a few more things. You have to submit 2 letters of recommendation. Now, I got mine from 2 professors that I was most close with, or that knew me the most, because I took their classes and I was in clubs associated with them. So pick somebody, either your boss, employer, a professor. And EPIK actually does supply a template of what the letters of recommendation have to look like. It's under the initial required documents, which I'm not sure if I will be able to link down below. It's on their website. Give that to whoever does agree to write your letter of recommendation, so it'll be easy for them and you won't have any problems. You don't need the original letters initially, but you will end up needing the original ink signed letters from the people that are recommending you at the end, if you've passed the interview. So you will need to get letters from people who you can get letters from, like physical letters from. You can either ask them to mail it to you, or you can pick it up, but in the beginning you don't need. You can just use a PDF copy. That is all you need for the initial application. So you need to fill out the application form, you need to do the lesson plan and the 3 essays, and then you need a photo, and you need the 2 letters of recommendation, and then any photos of tattoos. And you're going to send all of that online on the EPIK website, and then you'll wait. Now, depending on when you applied or how busy EPIK is, it'll vary. I heard people who immediately applied right when the application process was opened. They had to wait like a few weeks to hear back from EPIK. I applied late and I heard back within 2 days. If you pass the initial application, you're gonna get an email saying that you need to set up an interview time. I set up an interview like a week after I got the acceptance. So the interview is probably very, very daunting to a lot of people, especially if you've never done a Skype interview before, or you don't have any teaching experience, or you just don't have a lot of confidence in yourself. When I did the interview, EPIK doesn't have their camera on, so they can see you, but you can't see them. So that might be terrifying because you can't like look at their expressions to make sure that you didn't say something wrong, or, you know, I don't know, second guess yourself. I would recommend looking at the camera rather than the screen, or if you looking at the camera directly terrifies you, you can put something behind it, like pictures or something, or you can put a sticker next to your camera. Just don't cover your camera because they want to see you. And so the interview will last between 15 to 50. I've heard some people had like 50-minute interviews. I'm not sure if that's like the case anymore. Roughly, I think average is between 20 to 30 minutes. Mine was 25 minutes, and depending on how long it is, it's not going to like affect your outcome. Like some people did 15 minutes and they passed, some people did 45 minutes and they passed. So don't worry too much about like how long it is. Like for all interviews, wear something decent. They say business casual, have pants on, and also your background needs to be kind of blank. Just don't have a lot of distractions in the background. Like this would be a really crappy background because I have way too much going on. Have good lighting, decent lighting at least, and find a quiet room. My family has dogs and they like to be very rambunctious, especially during the evenings. So I made sure to go to a separate room, closed off, where the dogs couldn't come in and bother me and I couldn't hear them. So just make sure you have like, you're in a setting that you can control. Be aware that the interview time that you do schedule is going to be kind of odd, especially, well, depending on where you are in the world and the time difference between Korea and wherever you are. So the time difference for me is 14 hours. So it's a big difference. I had my interview scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Korean Standard Time. So make sure you know that it's in Korean Standard Time and you convert that into whatever time it is for you. It was 9:30 there, but it was 8:30 p.m. here. On the day of the interview, you are going to have to accept the EPIK coordinator or whoever is interviewing you. They're going to reach out to you because you will have given them your Skype information. Yeah, they're going to contact you first and you just have to accept and say, hi, yeah, this is so-and-so. I am ready for my interview. They will call you. It is okay if they are late. I've heard some cases where they're like 20 minutes late. Mine, I don't think was late because I was one of the first people to be interviewed, but you just have to realize that they're interviewing people side by side. So they're trying to get through everything, and so they have to organize stuff, and some interviews may go longer than expected. Just be aware of that. So the actual interview process is kind of split into two parts. First, they're going to go over your initial application. So make sure you have that printed out and you have a pen, because they're going to go over and they're going to give you suggestions on how to fix it. And then the next thing is the actual like interview process. I don't know why I did that, but it's when they're actually going to ask you questions and you have to respond. So the questions that they're going to ask you really depend on who's interviewing you and what your background is, what they want to know more about you. And also the amount of questions they ask varies, because I've heard some people who had like 25 questions asked. I myself only had 5 questions asked. So I don't know how they do that. I prepared so much for this interview. Like I over-prepared, but it's better to over-prepare than to under-prepare, so it's whatever. But I read and watched a lot of other people's experiences with the EPIK interview, and then I compiled a list of like 50 questions, and then I made a document in which I answered all of those questions. I don't recommend that unless you're paranoid like me. I have 8 papers front and back with questions and then answers that I created, and then I highlighted like the key points to each answer. You don't need to do that, okay? No. So yeah, I was asked 5 questions that catered to my background and the information that I supplied. So that's kind of what's gonna happen with you. Your questions will probably be slightly different. After that, the interview is done and they will say they'll contact you after they decide everything. A lot of people, again, who applied at decent times, they got responses. Like it took maybe a week or 2 to get responses. I got a response that night. Like I went to sleep and then I checked my email that morning and I got a response that said I passed. You might have to wait, you might not. I guess it really just depends. So after you have passed the interview, you have done great. And now you move on to like the final stage. And that is the post-interview documentations that you need to send to EPIK. This is like the last major step in applying for EPIK. I'm going to go over all of the documentations that you need to send to EPIK for you to continue on and succeed at getting a placement. On their website, they're going to have like the initial required documents, which I previously talked about, and then they're going to have like the documents that you were going to have to send to them after the interview. In the email that I got right after the interview that said that I passed, they actually had a document attached to that email that had a really detailed and organized information about sending documentation and like what documents you need, what order you need to put them in, and etc. So yeah, that's gonna be like the thing that you're going to follow if you do pass the interview. So I'm just gonna go over like the basic stuff. So the first thing you need is you need a completed online application form. So you need to, once you have fixed your application form to however they said during the interview, and it's passed and it's okay, you're going to need to print that out. And then you're going to need to get an actual passport size photo, the professional photo, and you're going to have to put that on the application form. And then you're going to need an apostilled, I don't know if that's how you say it, apostilled. So this site says it's apostilled. It still doesn't sound right, but whatever. Let's insert the word right here. Okay. So you're gonna need an apostilled copy of your bachelor's degree. Do not get your actual bachelor's degree apostilled and then send that to EPIK, because EPIK won't return any of your documents. You're going to get a copy of your bachelor's degree, and then you're going to get that apostilled. Still doesn't sound right. So apostilled, if you don't know what that means, it basically just means you're getting a certain document certified that it is legitimate. What I did is I used a company. I can't remember the name of the company. They were really quick, they were easy to get in contact with, and they got everything that I needed done. You have to go on their website and then fill out like what you need to get authenticated. You can include PDFs of the documents that you need to get authenticated. Like I just took a picture of my bachelor's degree and then sent that picture to them. And I use them for my bachelor's degree, but I also use them for my criminal background check. So that's the third thing you will need, is you're gonna need a criminal background check, and then you're gonna need that apostilled. So in order to get a criminal background check in the United States, you need to get your fingerprints done, and then you need your fingerprints sent to the FBI, and then they're going to send you a PDF or an actual physical copy of your criminal background check. I used the same site to get my bachelor's degree and my criminal background check apostilled. Now I used a different site to get my fingerprints done and to get my criminal background checked. I am going to link down below, again, the website where I found where to get my fingerprints done. I basically just went to this one like shipping office place, and they had a fingerprint scanner machine in which they scanned my fingerprints. It literally only took like a minute, and then those scans went directly to the FBI, and then the FBI sent me my criminal background check through my email, and I got it that same day. So it literally only took a few hours to get my criminal background check done. So that was cool. And then I just had to send a PDF of that to the company that I used to get it authenticated. The next thing you need is you need your original letters of recommendation. You need both of them. You also need an original sealed transcript from your university. Emphasis on the sealed. I'm not sure if this is how this goes for every university, but for my university, I can just go on the like student homepage website and order transcripts off of there. And like the first 10 transcripts I order are free, and I just have to pay for shipping, which is like $2. Your university will then ship your sealed transcripts in an envelope to you. And don't open that envelope. Don't open the envelope. It needs to be sealed. EPIK wants your transcripts sealed. So as soon as you get your transcripts in the mail, just keep it in the envelope and then give it to EPIK. And then you need a scanned copy of your passport photo, the picture and information page in your passport. You just need a scanned copy of that. And then this is required for some people. Again, it depends on what your background is, but you need a copy of your TEFL or teaching license certificate. Don't send your original certificate because you're not going to get that back. So you're going to have all the documents I just stated. You're going to have all of those, and then you're going to make a copy of all of those except for your transcripts. You don't need those because, again, keep them sealed. But everything else you're going to need a copy of. You're going to have like the originals, and then you're going to have the copies. And you're going to put those together and then mail them to EPIK. And then I also highly recommend that you do make copies for yourself as well, just in case if you need them for getting a visa and just to have on hand. Because like I said, again, you're not going to get those documents back and you want to have proof that you have them. So make copies for yourself as well. And the last thing I recommend you to do is how to mail them. How to mail your documents. So I have a fun horror story. So I was going to pay $70, whatever, how many dollars it is, to get an express envelope, put all my documents in there, and then ship it to South Korea. I got to the post office and I like got the express envelope, the express priority, whatever envelope that only takes like 3 to 5 business days to ship internationally, which is great. Got all that, filled out a customs form because you will need a customs form, even just sending documents that's required. Filled that out, put the address that they gave me, EPIK's address, along with like the contact information just in case if it gets stuck at customs. Put all that on there, and then I was ready to pay. I was ready to murder my bank account some more, and the horror story begins. The person that helped me at the post office, like, she was so kind. So she was a lovely person. No harsh feelings against her. She just didn't really know what she was doing, I think. I was filling out the customs form while she was typing up the address that I had placed on the envelope, and she was like, "This is going to Korea, right?" And I said, "Yeah, it's going to Korea." I put the Republic of Korea, South Korea, on the envelope. Okay, it was there. That's where it was. And it's like, yeah, it's going to Korea. And then she kept like trying to type it into her computer, and something was wrong. But I wasn't really paying attention because I was like filling out the customs form and I was just like trying to get that done. And she's like, "Have you ever shipped to this address before? Because I can't find it on our database." And I was like, "No, I haven't shipped to it before." And then things started to go wrong. So she kept trying it again, and then I was just kind of standing there like, I don't know what's going on, but I just want my documents to go to Korea. This shouldn't have been a problem, but it was. So she couldn't find the address, and then she's like, "We're gonna have to try something new." And so she got a different envelope, and me being the stupid head, didn't question it. She got another envelope, and she took out all of my documents from the express envelope and she put it in this brown envelope. And I didn't know that there was a difference. I just thought, I don't know what I thought. I just wanted to get out of there. It was the beginning of December, okay? The post office was crazy this time. Everybody's trying to get Christmas stuff out. There was a line. I didn't want to hold anybody up, so I was just going with the flow. She puts everything in the envelope. She's like, "This is okay, right?" I was like, yeah, sure. And she's like, "Okay, you're gonna have to put the address on here again because we can't use the express envelope." So I was like, okay. So I fill that out. I hand her the customs form with it, and she's like, because I can't find the address, I don't think you need the customs form. I was like, I think I do. But I hate confrontation, so I kept the customs form even though I felt like that was wrong. That was my second mistake. Then she was like getting it all ready. I had to pay for it, and it was like $10. It was $10. I was ready to murder my bank account, drain it dry for $70 or whatnot, and it was $10. And I was like, this isn't making any sense. But again, I'm not gonna confront anything. I'm not gonna question anything. I'm just gonna go with the flow and screw myself over when I realize what went wrong later. So I pay for it, and then it's all good. I'm like, okay, thank you, goodbye. I go home, and then I'm eating lunch, and I check my receipt because I want to check the tracking number, and I realized there was no tracking number. And then I was like, why? And then I realized that I no longer have Express. I checked the receipt, and it said First Class International. That is the envelope she changed it to. Instead of Express Priority International, she changed it to First Class International. And I went on the website and discovered that it takes 7 to 21 days for First Class International to get to South Korea. I'm already on a time schedule here. It's already December. They need it by the beginning of January. What am I going to do? And I can't track it. And so then I just started freaking out a little bit, and then I read the receipt again, and I realized where the mistakes originated. On the receipt. On the receipt, it said, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. First Class International, $10. For those who don't know what the Democratic Republic of Korea is, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is, whatever it's called, that is another word for North Korea. My documents were going to North Korea. Rushed back to the post office, and I got there like 30 minutes after leaving. Internally, I was freaking out, and I was so like upset and so frustrated. I was just like, oh my god, I'm already like applying late. I needed to get these done, and now they're going to North Korea. I don't have enough time or money to get these documents collected again. I go there, walk in, unpleasant, because you know what? It's not their fault. People make mistakes. They were really nice to me. So I go up there, I'm like, it's a new person. I go up there and like, yeah, I came in here earlier and I tried to send something to South Korea, but on my receipt it says North Korea. And the person that was helping me, she was like, there's a big difference between the two, isn't there? Yeah, just a bit. She tries to find my package at the post office, but my luck, they had an early pickup. They had a truck pick up the package like 5 minutes before I got there. So my package was gone. And then the lady that originally helped me, the lady that was trying to send my personal information to North Korea, came out and she's like, yeah, you shouldn't worry about it. North Korea, that was the first one that came up because alphabetically N comes before S. She's like, don't worry about it because it'll follow the address that you wrote on the envelope. Thank God I wrote the right address on the envelope. Oh yeah, I couldn't track it or anything. It was gonna take about a month to get there if it did, and it also didn't have a customs form. So 3 things went wrong. I don't even know how this happened. A miracle happened. December, I did this stuff at the beginning of December, and then I got an email December 27th from EPIK saying that they got my documents. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I also checked like earlier, like that day when I was having a mental breakdown, to see if it was actually possible to ship something to North Korea, and it isn't. So I don't even know why that was an option. I mean, at least I saved some money. I might have like lost a few years due to the stress of that, but at least I saved $60. So that's my horror story. So my tip to you is to make sure first off you get a tracking number. Don't leave the shipping area wherever you're going. If you're going to FedEx, UPS, the post office, Don't leave that place until you have a tracking number. Make sure, check your receipts to make sure it's the right Korea. You should be okay. Also, make sure you have a customs form. So yeah, once EPIK gets all your documents, they'll send you an email saying that they received them. And then they'll send you information saying that it may take a while to get a placement, but they're going to start sending your documents to places all around Korea. And then the next email you should get is your placement. That is my story. Those are my tips on how to pass. I hope this helps you in the future if you're applying for EPIK. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful experience applying for EPIK, or if you're not applying for EPIK, I just hope you have a wonderful day. And so yeah, my voice is gone, so I'm gonna go now. Goodbye.